So the final episode of Gaku Gurashi had production issues according to Crunchyroll, and it took a very long time for this episode to get translated and come out. And I don't know how long this episode has been out. I checked it around like 8 p.m. my time, and it wasn't out at the time on Crunchyroll. I don't know how long this has been out, but I just saw it, just watched it, and I'm gonna say right now, I noticed a lot of anime from this season have had production issues, and I wonder what's really going on with Crunchyroll, because constantly I'm noticing, like, every week, there's some form of series that's being delayed because of production issues, like Gates, like, for 3 weeks in a row. I mean, there was some with, like, Food Wars. I think Food Wars had some issues, and other series have constantly had issues as well. So I wonder what's going on with Crunchyroll to constantly have these delays. But for now, what I'm going to talk about is the final episode. So this is the final episode of the series. Now, with the ending conclusion of the episode, I know there's going to be a lot of Chibits asking me, do you think there's going to be a season 2? Well, the way it ended off of, it actually has me having hopes for a season 2, because, I mean, you see this dog, like this little quick glimpse of a dog that looks like it's looking at Taromaru's grave, and then you see this one girl pick up the letter from, you know, the school, and that's kind of how the episode ends. So the way it's going, it looked like it was setting up for a season 2, and I don't know if there is enough content for this series to really have a season 2, because I think there's only 38 or 39 chapters right now of the series, and if I am correct, according to my understanding from what some of you Chibits have told me on Twitter and Facebook, is that this series ended off on chapter 30, or chapter 29. It's one of those chapters. So there's not much content to even make season 2 at all, so how are they really going to go about that unless they want to make an entire anime original series because of the way the ending was done? But besides that, looking past that, my thoughts on this conclusion, I'm half and half. Like, I enjoyed the series, and it was very fun, but I'm on one side of the fence to where, like, I don't really know how to feel, because with the past couple episodes, like the past 2 episodes, there's been a lot of build-up and setup for some deaths, some really tragic deaths going on, like Miki, Kurumi. I mean, there's some crazy shit going on, even with Taromaru. And with all this build-up for the past couple episodes, it's really kind of built up into this climactic finale of the series. And with the way this episode handled it, it was all kind of too happy. Like, you get my point. See, when I envision a zombie series, I think of something that's going to be very tragic, because it felt like everything worked out a little bit too well. Now, I'm sad to see Taromaru die, the dog, die in this episode. I was pretty damn sad, because I actually kind of grew close to this dog that you can kind of consider the main character in a certain sense, because this dog saved the day and saved everybody. And I'm sad to see that, you know, the dog die, but I felt like it just ended way too happy. I felt like there should have been one more death. At the very least, you know, Kurumi or Miki, I wonder if they would have died. Like, I wanted one of them to die just to have some more of a dramatic conclusion of the series. But to get back into some of the things I wanted to discuss, the medicine. This is just something that really, I'm having to boggle my mind right now to hold myself back, but I really need to discuss this, because I think some of us are probably already starting to think about this, and I just want to tackle the issue right now. I've already brought it up, I think, about 2 episodes ago. I brought up the issue with this medicine, like, since the school has all these facilities, like, all this preparation for a zombie apocalypse, and there's no way in fuck that they could prepare this well in just a couple of months to a couple of weeks. They would have to prep for something like this for years because of the budget that, you know, you would need to do something like this. Unless you have a very rich millionaire, billionaire pumping money into the project, which I kind of doubt. But even then, the point still stands. It doesn't go by that quick to make all this preparations for the zombie apocalypse. And with the medicine, this experimental drug, or this medicine that was introduced in these final episodes, it makes me question something. Like, since this school was so prepared, they had this information that links to the government, why wasn't this drug given out across the entire world? If they knew a zombie apocalypse was going to happen eventually because the school was prepping for it, why wasn't this medicine that worked handed out? Even if it was experimental, why wasn't this handed out? Because we saw it work with Kurumi, and obviously the way the drug was done is it only can work if you do it soon enough. Like, if it's too long, like you take too long, the drug will not work, or maybe it doesn't work on animals. But whatever the case may be, the drug worked. And for that to work, why wasn't this mass-produced? Why wasn't this given around to hospitals or different, clinics and different things like that? I'm curious about why there wasn't more preparation. For them to know zombies was coming, you'd think there would be a lot more prep work being done. There's so much prep work on paper for the school, but the world didn't even seem like it was aware of what was going on. So that's one of the main things that really just puzzle me right now about this entire plot of the series, with the way this medicine was introduced and how the school prepped for it, but there didn't seem to be any prep work going on in the actual world. You'd think, the world would know somewhat about this. So, enough of that. Besides my little issues there, I felt like the way the finale was, besides, it being a little bit too happy, it was a good way to end Season 1, and I know the BDs and DVDs are selling really well right now, and even the manga is selling really well in Japan. The sales are pretty damn good, and so the way the sales go in Japan, if it sells well, there will be eventually a Season 2, or a continuation in some way. So yeah, I can see Gakuguradashi getting a Season 2, maybe not this year, maybe not even next year. If this is a monthly series, if the series comes out monthly, I don't even think we might even get a Season 2 next year. Maybe at the end of next year at the earliest, maybe around winter or fall, but even then, I highly doubt we'll get a Season 2 next year. But I'm willing to bet if the sales continue to go really well, and it's selling like hotcakes in Japan, you could expect a Season 2, definitely, in the near future. So yeah, I felt like the way it was done, animation-wise, to the feelings and the feels and stuff of each individual character, I felt like it did a good job wrapping it up. Some of the characters, felt a little bit like they were rushed with their development in some scenes of this episode, but even though it got the point across and it made me feel emotional, and I'm like, yeah, this is a pretty good way to end this series. It was unique in its own way. Definitely for this anime season, Gakuguradashi stood out among the crowd. If I had to compare Gakuguradashi to anything from the season, I couldn't, because that's how unique it is compared to everything else in this season. So well done, Gakuguradashi, for being a good series. Even though it's not the best I've ever seen, it's been a very fun ride. I've enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see what Season 2 has in store for us. The one thing I want, though, from a Season 2, if there's one thing I want, and I want to quickly say this, the only thing I really want from a Season 2 is more zombies. I want more zombies. I want more zombie action. I want the zombies to really be a big threat. I want it to where the zombies have more role to play in the story. See, the zombies have had a role to play in these past couple episodes, but they didn't really have that much of a threat, so to say. It was mainly Moe over anything else, and I hope that if we ever have a Season 2, maybe it's anime original, we might have the Moe element kind of shifted to the side just a little bit for more, zombie and intense apocalypse action. That's something I would like to see. And the way the ending part of this episode is going is prepping us up for humans versus humans. Something how, The Walking Dead does, with how, mankind will still fight each other even though they face a great apocalypse. And I feel like that's also the way the ending part of this episode is leading into, humans versus humans. So now that I've said that, that's my final thoughts on the series. It was enjoyable. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Please be safe. Chibi out.